Welcome back, everyone, to Werewolf, the Apocalypse is what we're playing. I almost blanked out there for a moment. And Valkenberg Foundation, Rage Across New York. It's all the good stuff from the early 1990s when White Wolf was edgy and also hit and miss. Much like today, actually, but in a different way. Fans will know how. This show is rated R for Aru, Ragabash, Arun, and big monsters that crush their enemies by ripping them into very small shreds. And also we've had, what else are rated? We've had all sorts of mental health issues being thematic in various, that's Valkenburg Foundation is all about mental health, folks. You might not have noticed for this story, but it was. And this is the Hellwalker pack. Who's with us today?
I'm Eldwinde, pronouns any all, and I'm playing as Jake Stromfeld, aka True Strike. About to wake up to very good news.
The best.
Yeah.
I'm John. I'm playing Paul, aka Otis, aka Skidders and Shadows, the Ragabash Thief, and Bonar.
Roger, I'm playing Milestone, Speaker Lincoln, Swalker Galliard.
I guess I'll go next. I am Dashby, and I am playing Runs to Fire, also known as Buggy. What is she? Oh, Theurge. Lupus, Theurge, Glasswalker. Took me a moment there.
I guess I'm last. I am Zest, and I play Austin, Heart of Ice, which is Philodox Silverfang.
Yeah, and last time when we met our pack, Buggy was introduced to the Hellwalkers. Sent from New York by Moonbridge, briefed by Gretchen Valkenberg, and tasked with assisting the pack on the urgent mission. And the mission consisting of confronting a hunter of Garou, responsible for the slaughter of local werewolves, some of whom were former patients at the Foundation, or maybe still in chronic care in some way, but not at the actual Foundation. You discussed your plan, tensions arising over leadership and tactics, but you performed the ritual with a glowing stone called the Moon Gleam during your truck ride to bolster your spirits for the common fight. Your stone, a fetish, trapping moonlight itself. So, howling your way to more anger, psyching yourself up, thanks to Luna. You stop the truck a little bit from your target's cabin, a remote A-frame cabin, and approach stealthily. Buggy used her spiritual senses to peer into the Umbra, the spirit world, and saw the cabin as a horrifying blight, a nexus of worm corruption teeming with malevolent banes. Deciding to strike in the spirit world first, the pack performed the ritual to cross into the Umbra, and were immediately confronted by a horde of ghoulish, razor-clawed banes known as scrags. The battle was ferocious and bloody, and one for the ages that will be sung. I'm not sure if it will get into the Silver Accord, but it will definitely be sung at Moots about the questing pack. You shifted into your war forms and you tore into the enemy with tooth and claw. But the number of scrags was overwhelming. True Strike was swamped and knocked unconscious, the face just horribly mangled. And they pressed the attack. Weavewalker brutally disemboweled and killed by the swarming spirits, and then Themis, the Black Fury, Philodox, overwhelmed and decapitated. The man you sought, a man named Samuel Haight, briefly appeared in the Umbra in the middle of this fight in a, monstrous form. He didn't look like a normal human. He looked like a glabro to your eyes, whatever brief glimpse you got from him. He saw the chaotic melee. He saw the horrible banes. He saw the Crinus warriors and chickened out, screamed like a very scared person in panic, and used a fetish to disappear. And together with your spirit companions, you finally destroyed the last of the Scrags. You were victorious, but battered. And that is where we pick up the story in this blighted Umbra landscape with the battered pack in the aftermath.
Okay, so first thing we need to do, guys, is let's gather up Miranda's and Bryce's bodies so we can bury them later on. And then I guess we need to try to, like, Miranda was a ritual expert, so I guess we need to mark this place and send somebody from the, what's the name of the place? Austin, you know it. You know the
Oh,
place.
Yeah, we need to gather everything and then go to Pure Heart.
Yeah, Pure Heart. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of the name of it. And okay,
So-
but before we go there, we need to investigate this cabin in the real world as well.
Yeah. Is
We were going to attempt to do the right.
Miles knows it, but I guess with Miles and
Wait, hold on.
what?
Has True Strike woken up yet?
No, I don't think so. He's in terrible pain, he was unconscious when we last left him off, and I think he's still in, this is bad. He's
Yeah,
in
his
a
rage
very
was
rough
too
shape.
high for the mother's touch.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't spent any rage, has he?
Oh, he sure hasn't.
Yeah, we need
I
5
get-
successes for that mother's touch.
And I forgot. I guess we need to get True Strike awake too. Miles, would you at least try the Rite of Abjuration? Maybe. Who else knows it besides Miles? Do you know Buggy?
No, Miles is the one that knew it, but I'm a ritualist as a theurge. So we were talking about maybe figuring out a way if we could pool together to try and do it ourselves.
How long does it take to teach somebody a ritual?
I don't know.
That's an
And
excellent
that's
question, isn't it? I don't think the rules specify. It's as
Like-
very often here. Whatever is convenient for the story.
I would assume that the format of the rituals are all very similar, right? Like the layout
Yeah.
and how you do everything and the steps and stuff is just going to be different incantations or what have you. So it really, think of all the movies we see where somebody just picks up a book and starts reading the Latin and expels a demon and they have no
Sure.
training.
A rite must be led by a rite master who must know the rite. Each participant, including the rite master, must have at least 1 point of rage. The die pool traits are noted in the rite, and so on. Each participant contributes 1 rage die, and each participant who knows the rite contributes 1 regular die as well.
So we could all contribute rage dice and Miles
Yes.
would have the ritual dice, the regular dice. So we have a chance of doing it. We have a better chance of doing it than healing.
Pure Strike. Yeah.
Okay.
Strike is
so-
in a bad spot.
Okay, so Miles, would you be willing to give it a go at least before we go back? Because there'll be one more less thing that we need to take care of later.
I'm glad to know that you would just let me bleed out on the ground while you do a right first.
We already tried murder touching you. You have to get calm.
Yeah,
You
I
can
think
do a medical check, a medicine
This
check.
does also pose
Yeah.
a question about whether we actually needed to fight this fight at all. The question is, does the Rite of Abjuration work both in the Umbra and the real world?
That's an excellent
forever.
question, actually. Let me check that.
If you're clearing it, or it should. I would imagine it would. If you're
Yeah, I think so too. A Rite of Abjuration purifies a person, place, or object, purging any spiritual possession. Spirits present are driven out. We're not talking abjuration. We're talking. Let's see now. Isn't it a cleansing? Contrition?
Yeah, it should be rite of cleansing because aberration would just be that would be where you're casting it out. So you'd cast it out of the realm, back into the Umbra,
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to have Rite of Cleansing for, which I don't
Do you
have. I
Rite
don't
of
have that
Cleansing,
either.
Lance? Actually,
Have they
it-
dumped the Rite of Cleansing for 5th edition? Gee, that would be
Wouldn't
weird.
surprise me.
I've played this so many games now, and I still can't keep track of all the changes they've made because
Yeah.
I have two systems in the head at the same time. So, let's see now. It purifies a place of spiritual possession. Strictly speaking, I think we've read this wrong. The difficulty to cleanse an object. No, we haven't, because it's still... Okay, I get it. It's about just getting the spirit out, and if it's just a blight...
If it's still there, you have to destroy it.
Yeah. I don't think they have actually thought of that part. That's in this part.
Yeah, it's like one's like for possession, and then cleansing closes the blight. Or that's how it used to be anyway.
Yeah, that's how it used to be, but they have... Unless they have added it in the Moonlit Path. Let me check. Why don't I know this already? Because I have two rule systems fighting in my head.
That
Man,
usually
they
does it.
That usually
They
does.
really changed a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, like I think we tried. Never mind. Maybe, I guess we were wrong then when we did the Rite of Abjuration.
Yeah, we've done.
before.
We've used the Rite of Abjuration as a rite of cleansing, and I'm just questioning myself because, in older editions there was a rite of cleansing, but
Yeah, and I don't remember seeing it because I was looking for all the basic.
there is
I
no
would
rite
have.
of cleansing in any of the books that I find here, which is really
No.
interesting, isn't it?
We have been using the Rite of Abjuration basically as a rite of cleansing, and we have
Yeah.
used it successfully in the basement of the mental asylum.
Yes,
I
yeah.
know, you did. And I ruled that you could. And now I'm confusing myself because...
That's a rule. The flip side, bring back the Rite of Cleansing. Because, I mean, that
Yeah,
was... Theurgia should have spirit speech, cleansing, mother's touch, and then you get into your spirit binding and all that other stuff.
Yeah, no, I
In
think
Shadow
the
Passage,
Rite of
obviously everybody
Abjuration
needs
is the
Shadow
closest we
Passage.
get because there is
Yeah.
no other for cleansing a place of the worm. So
Yeah, this sort of leads to the question is, was this entire bloodbath unnecessary? If the Rite of Abjuration, cleansing, whatever we want to call it, works in the material world
it does work
and
in the
drives
material
out
world.
spirits,
Yeah,
could we
yeah.
have just stood off, done the
Yeah.
revelation, and it would have cleaned this whole place, got rid of all the banes, and we wouldn't have even needed to
That-
fight?
That makes it really powerful. And that's
Yeah,
a really
I-
powerful right to do all of that. I would say if we did it
That
in the
sounds
real world,
overpowered.
if there was a manifestation of a spirit in the real world, it'd go to the Umbra, and then you'd have to still fight it. But that'd be very powerful for it to do all of that.
Yeah,
No, no,
that's why I
it's-
was.
it's- if we look at what the book says about the Rite of Abjuration, it says that essentially you are cleansing an object or a place of spirits, right? But the difficulty is going to depend on the badness of the possession. So in this case, it would definitely have been a difficulty 5, and it's honor plus occult to do it. So
I
it's
would
not
prob-
easy.
I would say probably a good compromise would be if you're on the realm and you're encountering something that's possessed, you'd need to do it in the realm to get them in the Umbra so that you could kill it. And then the rite might close the blight, but you'd still have to kill the spirit would still be wandering around the Umbra unless you go in and kill
they're
it.
driven out according to the text for the Rite of Abjuration. They're driven out, so they all leave the target object physically marred in some way, though. So, yeah, the spirit will leave, essentially. It will not be destroyed, it will just leave.
Yeah, so I'm thinking a good way to, if we're going to homebrew rules around this to get the cleansing to work the same way as we did in the asylum, probably the best way to rule it would be that the more banes in an area you've destroyed, the easier it is to cleanse the area. If we hadn't killed the big bad in the basement,
It'd be like
we
difficult.
probably couldn't have got the cleansing to work at all.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that-
And yeah, we got rid of all these scrags, so that makes this place easier to cleanse.
Yeah.
So-
all you're dealing with is the blight. It's just cleaning up that blight,
Exactly.
and then the monsters are all taken care of.
I'm good with that. So it's no longer a spawning point for Banes. Yes.
Yeah.
I would
When
you-
absolutely agree with that. Because it seems
it's
weird
honor-
to me that they haven't thought about the whole how do you cleanse a blight in a
Yeah.
werewolf game.
I had also a couple other thoughts about how we ran this fight and how it went so badly wrong. I remembered when we were fighting in Canada, we had the Storm Spirits with us. It was how Stormspeaker got his name. They were there anyway because there was a storm going on. If for this fight we'd wanted to recruit some extra spirits to just help us and give us some action economy improvements, how would we have done it?
I could have
I
done
don't know,
spirit
that'd be the
summon.
Triage's job, I'd say, to recruit
Yeah,
spirits
you'd have to
and
do
stuff.
spirit summon and make a deal with them.
Yeah.
The funny part is that there is many references in the core book about reclaiming blights and cleansing blights, and there is no rule system for doing it. That's 5th edition, lovely. Yeah, they have a lot
Okay.
of hand waving here. Rite of Abjuration is definitely the way to go to cleanse this place, and I'm gonna set it to a difficulty 4 because you have destroyed all the scrags. It's still the lowest is a difficulty 3, so a 4 is just a reflection of the fact that it has been this deep level of corruption here. First, of course, you can do it in the Umbra. That is gonna take a scene, because a rite always takes a scene to complete. Of course, it may be a few minutes or several hours. Regardless, that will cost you willpower, superficial willpower point, because you're staying in the Umbra to do it, and in this edition, that hurts you a little bit. True Strike, I mean, he will... No, he's not going to die yet, because he still has willpower points, because it's a new session, isn't it? So, he can...
So
he
should
can
we shadow
survive that.
passage our way back to physical world and then do abjuration?
That is a thing.
I
You
would
have to.
I would rather do it in the Umbra, where you can actually see the effect, because that's where the blight is. The blight isn't really in the realm. It's just the house manifests the blight. The blight is in the Umbra.
Can you send True Strike back to the material plane, so that way he's not.
That would take a separate Rite of Shadow Passage, though.
Yeah,
how
we
would
may as well
that
just
actually
do one
help
right
it?
of Shadow
Well, hold on.
Passage.
Doesn't Skidders have one of those things that can send... No, that only works for sending someone in the Umbra.
Is there a way to force True Strike to shift to a healing form?
No. He's...
Because there used to be a right for that too.
You'd like feel like
Have to
a
make a right for that.
Okay, let's do this right first. And does anybody have medicine? Once we've done this right, we can do a medicine check, not necessarily Mother's Touch to try to wake up.
Actually, if somebody is as far down as True Strike is, if we don't have it on us, at least I don't think we have it on us, but if we just, like, say, stuck him with amphetamines or something, could that jolt him awake long enough for him to switch into a healing form and start fixing himself?
Do you have something that strong?
Yeah, I guess it could. Look, what are the rules for drugs for werewolves in
It's like,
5th edition? I have no idea.
seriously, officer, we just have these amphetamines in case we have to wake up somebody.
You're gonna give this poor man an addiction.
He has never used them before. It's fine. Once is nothing, right?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
always starts with one.
You know, so they give you in the hospital.
Oh,
Uh,
brother.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so our
like,
priority is, okay, True Strike is injured and can't heal. So number 1 priority. Blight, I would say, is number 2 priority. Recovering bodies for a burial would be 3rd priority.
Okay. So does anybody have medicine?
No. Look, there
Okay.
is a third option we can do, and unfortunately, and this might not be the best, but we can leave and go to Pure Heart and ask for help.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're going to leave, if nobody has medicine, then let's clean this place, then step sideways, then put True Strike on the back of the thing, and we can take him to Pure Strike, and we can take him to Pure Heart, and maybe they can heal him there, because we can't heal him.
When somebody is as badly injured as True Strike, what's the balance like is between Umbra and Real World? Will you lead out any faster in one or the other?
But like in the real world, we have a truck, so we can get to Pure Heart faster.
It
And
sounds
here-
like it's willpower. It's a willpower issue. It sounds
And
like.
here
in the Umbra.
we have to keep spending willpower just to stay here.
Yep.
Okay,
And,
hang on.
and we're a bit away from, we're at least, I don't know how far we are from Pure Heart actually here, but we're a fair bit away.
Yeah, it's a
There
very...
is- There is one
we can have
thing.
it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, go.
I was gonna say, if willpower is an issue, I can always use my gift to keep him
Give
stable.
him willpower.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's a new
Okay,
session.
so-
You can use it again, absolutely.
Okay, we'll just attempt the right ones, and if it doesn't work, that could be another job for the guys in Pure Heart, okay? I also want to look at, but obviously with True Strike Hurt, we can't really look at what's inside maybe we can have a scans if we get through, but we'll see. Okay, let's just get this done, because we need to get this guy back to a doctor.
Yeah. All right, then whoever
mean,
can
he
do the
looks-
ritual.
He looks so messed up, like he's been cut by those claws, something. And I don't know if it's good or bad for you, but these claws, like the strikes from the Scrags, don't look like claw strikes. They look like he's been through a knife blender, basically. They're very sharp cuts, not the type of ragged cuts you would get from a natural claw.
Oh, yeah, one other thought. We talking about like healing and damage resistance and stuff. I know I forgot to heal several times because of and I think other people did as well. And I'm not sure, it didn't do me any long-term harm. But since when we're fighting fights that are this close to hideous death, I'd have thought that one thing you can do is just leave your mouse pointer over the rage dice button, just so that when it comes to your turn, you've got a reminder that you have to do this first.
Good idea.
That
Yeah,
is
that's an
something
idea.
you can do.
So who knows how to do the rite to cleanse the blight?
The right of what are you talking? Shadow Passage?
Abjuration.
Right of
Abjuration,
Abjuration.
yeah.
Okay.
Miles
Well.
knows that, so Miles is leading that. And
Okay.
Buggy can help.
So
All
what
right.
do you need
And
us to do?
everybody who can should put in a rage to give a rage dice to Miles roll.
Yeah, we can all take part in the right, so we can give a rage
Yeah,
dice.
that is all three of you who are standing,
Yes.
who are not the right masters.
We get 1 point off.
And so, yeah, that's what's going to happen. So,
When I think about this, if I did the song,
No, let's just. That I guess you can do that song. That's what, a gift. Go ahead. Go
yeah,
do the song for us.
it's a gift, yeah.
would that help though?
Oh wait, it doesn't apply to the right master, or it doesn't apply to you because you're the one doing the song.
Yeah.
Or just
It only.
just take our rage.
So
and-
would that allow anybody else to re-roll their?
Oh
Rage
yeah,
dice.
if you're doing the Song of Valor now, Miles, then that is going to allow Skidders to re-roll the Rite of Abjuration, or re-roll an limited number of willpower, like dice for one willpower. Language is difficult sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm not doing the right. He is. Miles is.
Oh, Miles is doing it. Oh yeah, sorry, of course. I thought,
And
why would I
the
think
sound
that?
doesn't apply to himself, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so there's no point doing the song. We can always do the song if we need to, if someone else is doing something.
Right. How many dice? How do I do this? What are the dice?
Right, so a Rite of Abjuration is a roll of... Why haven't we included that here? Oh, that's because I put it under the dice there. So basically, you're gonna... Oh my god. This is going to be Honor plus Occult. You have 2 dice of Occult. No Occult at all. You only have Honor. And your Honor is a 2. So you have 2 dice. But you
Jesus
also
Christ.
gain, because you have support from 3 people, you gain 3 more rage dice. So you're gonna end up with 5 rage dice, and you're gonna need 4 successes to cleanse this place.
Lock
There you
in.
go.
So how long would it take him to teach me the rite?
While.
Because I have 2 in a cult.
A while. You can
Okay.
always
Yeah.
come back later, but
Just do
Strax
the
might
roll,
have...
man.
No, it's like we can give it a try. We
Come
can give it a
back.
try.
Good,
Yeah,
the
we're
worst
just
that
giving
happens
it a
is you
try,
fail.
okay? If it doesn't work, we're stepping
Then-
sideways straight away.
Then the Karen can send somebody.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Alright, go for
so
it.
Before
so
we roll,
click on-
Storm Speaker, before we roll,
Oh.
I just wanted to bring your attention to something else. You've been looking at each other, you've been talking to each other, True Strike is lying down. I don't know if anyone, is giving him care or whatever. Certainly, Scratch is going to nuzzle up against Skidders, and because he's now in umbral form, let's make him properly big here. There we go. Scratch. Properly big. It's a big rat in the Umbra, isn't it? He's nuzzling up against Skidders and just looks at the 2 fallen, and you just hear the rat go, bummer. And even as he's doing this, you will also see that Optinode is flickering. And you will hear the voice of Optinode in clipped bursts, if you will. Link, primary node, terminated. It's a very electronic voice. Crackles with energy. Walker, gone. Cannot. Click. Remain. Do not make her termination shortcut. I carry names beyond Banes. End of transmission. And Optinode will float away from all of you. Somewhere else in the Umbra. That ball of crackling electricity moving like like it has legs. Electric bolts shooting out of it, walking away, maybe flying even, towards somewhere where Weaver spirits might be a little bit more welcome than here. Switchwing is going to land on runs to fire on your back.
Okay, so I'm try and do abjuration. I'm starting with a base of 2 rage dice.
And add +3 for the other participants.
So 5 dice, you gotta lock in, either get a crit or
Yep.
get lucky. You locked in, holy shit.
Wow. We can
You
always
did.
trust Storo Speaker when it comes to die rolls.
It appears that way.
Uh-huh.
Okay, 4 successes. Oh, yes.
That's some wisdom there, dude.
That is some wisdom.
Which is a
Okay,
weird
so-
achievement for somebody who is in a state of just distraught rage.
Maybe that is what's fueling you. Do you want to describe what you're doing, what you're feeling when you're conducting the rite, what it looks like to everyone else?
Yeah, I think the Miles is in that state where he's just so mentally screwed up that he looks on the outside like he is just absolutely dead calm, and he's just has just so brought the ritual to mind and is just forcing himself to do it step by step. And then when it clicks and he realizes it's happened, it's worked, and before you even see the effect starting to take a shape in the Umbra, he just lets out the most soul-shredding howl imaginable.
Which is very appropriate because we are nothing if not Garou.
Buggy will throw her head back and mirror his howl, and with a bit more of triumph to it.
As this succeeds, I don't know what Heart of Ice and Skidders are doing during this.
Part of us is just
Skidders is
absorbing.
focused. Oh, sorry. Austin, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say he's observing. They're doing.
Well, you're helping out with Rite, obviously, so...
Yeah, I'm helping out, but I'm
Yeah.
not saying anything in response.
Alright,
I'm just doing the motions.
very well. Skidders?
Same.
Well, as you are going through the umbral reflection of the house that exists in the real world, you are breaking the blight. As you're howling from this pack, the scabs, the scorching, the darkness, the ichor slowly withdraws. The corruption doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to give in, but those howls just ripples through the corruption itself. And even as the house is trying to replay the moments when Themis and Weavewalker fell, just to try to turn your grief into rage, it doesn't matter, because the strength of Gaia in your heart is stronger. And slowly but surely the rot disappears around you, and the house shudders, and there is almost like a cough from the entire structure. Billows of black smoke and green ichor just starts rising up from all the surfaces. It collapses inwards, not physically, but spiritually, mentally, conceptually. The place becomes normal walls, and the grass outside is dead grass from last fall rather than poisoned grass from a blight. It's a scar in the Umbra, but a scar is a place that was hurt and has healed, isn't it? This is taxing
What?
for everyone. Your mental state right now, because of course you've done the rite in the Umbra, and a rite is a seed, so another superficial willpower damage for staying here.
We already spent that to do about 2 seconds ago, right? When we were talking? Or whatever.
Oh.
So willpower resets at the game session?
Yeah, at the start of every session, or when you've had a good long rest, you regain either composure or resolve number of superficial willpower damage, whatever is higher.
Cool.
Unless you have done something to mess with the ban you have for your tribal, tribal
tribe,
spirit, patron. So if you destroy complex machines like vehicles, computers, or assembly equipment, you can only regain 1 single willpower at the start of the next session.
Okey-dokey.
We're good
Well,
to
once-
machines around here if we're glasswalkers.
Yeah. So we should have one. We should be 1 down for staying to do the rite.
That's correct.
We
Yes.
should be. Okay. Okay. Once the rite is over, Buggy will bounce over happily and bump into Miles and congratulations for doing a good job, and then bound off to start sniffing around the clean area until we're ready to leave.
I think we're okay. Mikhail, can we actually take their dead bodies through the Umbra with us?
I'd say so, yes.
Okay.
Because they are
Okay. So
material as well as spiritual.
yeah. Okay, Stormspeaker, you can do the Rite of Shadow Passage, and we'll get these guys, and we'll get Triage to a doctor.
Doesn't
my
runs
God,
to
I'm so
fire no shadow passage?
Nope.
What?
What?
I don't think so. Wait
Yeah,
a
no,
minute.
you do know Rite of Shadow
Do
Passage.
I know that one?
Yeah, you do. You do.
I was thinking like a
Okay,
clear-
wait a minute. That
a
actually sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's intelligence and
clear
glory.
Shadow
Okay.
Passage.
All right, so I will do it then.
And
Okay,
of course,
sorry.
you have 3 helpers.
Buggy, you can do it so.
I feel like
because-
that would be enough to give Jake 6 rage points and automatically wake him up if you didn't know that right.
I think everybody else knows the Rite of Shadow Passage. No,
I don't.
Skidders doesn't. So you get 2
No.
runs to fire. You get 2 werewolf dice and 1 rage die from the others.
Okay, and you
Yeah.
said it was, I'm sorry, what was it? Intelligence and what?
Intelligence
Glory.
and glory, in fact.
Glory,
No, not glory.
okay.
What am I talking
Occult.
about? It's no occult. It's renown and occult. That's what any renown you want. So you click
Okay.
for your occult and add whatever renown you want.
I'm going to
so
add
wisdom, obviously.
resolve. All
That's
right.
not a,
No, not resolve.
What?
You just have occult, no attribute, and then you add wisdom.
Oh, okay. So it's not, okay. So wisdom and occult. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And then you add 2 werewolf dice from Stormspeaker and Heart of Ice, and 1 rage die from Skidders.
Wait, you also had 2 more rage die from Heart of Ice and
No.
Stormspeaker?
no, because they give a
They-
normal dice
They
instead.
give normal dice.
No, I thought it was they give
Nope.
you normal dice and rage dice.
Nope.
All right then. Anyway,
Surely you have more dice than that, but it doesn't
I
matter.
should
in
have
this
had
case.
more dice than that. Wait a minute. I had more dice than that on the screen. I did the pluses. Did it make it anyway?
Yes, it did. It did.
Okay.
As it turns out, because you are far out in the
if
wild.
that was all
here.
the
This is-
dice you had, I was gonna strangle you.
No, because that would, I
Stop threatening
think it,
violence to our pack
Like,
members.
you have.
True
I
strike.
Yeah,
think
you
it
should
just showed. Yeah, it didn't show. I clicked on the dice, but it
That's
didn't roll
weird.
them all. I must have clicked something wrong. No, I probably clicked something wrong.
It's
'cause
okay.
You should have at least just those 2 together should be 5 dice. So.
No, I had, with wisdom, I think I had 4
And
of
then you
my
have another.
own, 4 or 5
Yeah.
of my own, and then the ones that you added. So
Anyway, it's going to be enough to get you all out of the Umbra and back to the real world again. Of course, it always takes a scene to conduct a rite, and you're doing it from the other side of the Umbra now. Everybody is a little bit tired mentally, I think. Did you want to do that gift, Heart of Ice, to share willpower with everybody?
Yeah, just in case, just to make sure that that true strike doesn't
Unity
kick
of the
bucket
pack?
before we get it. Unity of the pack, yes. So
I'm
I
actually
will
not
spend a
thinking about True
willpower.
Strike right now. I'm thinking about Skidders because he's very close to his.
Oh,
his
oh,
willpower.
I'm
Yes.
okay. I still have another willpower point, so it doesn't matter.
Not
It's
anymore.
fine. Either way,
Wait, I can't be up to 4. That's
You-
impossible because
no, you
two
started with-
seconds ago and I took 1 damage
Yeah,
just
no,
now. I
you-
can't take 2 damage in one scene. That's
No, this is 2 different scenes. Each is a scene.
okay. But I was 2 damage after the last. Okay.
You had 4 willpower damage when the session started. I reduced it by 2 for your recovery, and then we had 2 for the 2 scenes.
so either way,
Okay.
just in case,
Yeah.
I can cover both True Strike and Skidders.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought it was 3 for a second. I was just.
Yeah, no,
off
that's
by
fair.
1.
Because I've removed those. I had you recover those willpower when the session started, and I guess you didn't notice that, so then you recovered again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what happened.
It happens. It happens. It's fine. Sam's house. Here we are. Back in the real world. Yeah, there's definitely going to be lights inside the house. And you're standing basically right on the porch.
Shall we get moving?
Yeah, we don't have the time. We can mark this place on the map, and the Pure Heart people can investigate this place and find out what was actually going on. We don't have the time for that. Let's put True Strike and the True Strike in the back of the truck and put the bodies in it, and let's just go to the Pure Heart thing and hopefully somebody can help. True Strike.
We only need one person to drive the truck. The rest of us could stay here and search the building.
That's a good
Some of
point.
this may be time sensitive.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to drive True Strike to Pure Heart?
Not me.
Here's the thing. I'm currently keeping this entire pack within my gift, so I'm not sure if separating would be a good idea.
Okay. And I'm not good at. I don't really know the occult, so I'll take him. Okay.
Okay.
You guys can investigate this place.
Yeah. Then we'll go to Pure Heart, and then.
No, you stay here and help with the.
He's keeping the willpower for the injured people.
Oh yeah. So if you have to go anyway, you can just go by yourself.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're saying. Are you saying you want to stay here and help with the investigation because you're keeping willpower going, or you want to go?
Here's the thing. Unity of the pack lasts for 1 turn.
Oh, it's gone. So yeah.
Yeah,
Never
so
mind.
get your ass out of here.
If Heartwise, do you want to take? Do you think your skills will be better investigating this house or going back with True Strike to the Pure Heart?
We can investigate, but do you know your way to the cairn?
Yeah, I've been there before.
All right then. We'll clean this place up quickly and meet you there.
Yeah, okay. Take your time because I'll be driving. I'll go, and you guys can just investigate this properly. Okay.
All right, so Skidders, you're gonna leave,
Yeah.
and we're gonna investigate the house, as it were.
Let's hope nobody stops Skidders on the road, because that would look really fucking bad.
Oh, if it happens, I'll murder somebody else.
Yeah.
You're gonna
No,
hear.
bringing in a truck full of dead people and casualties made Miles a hero.
Yeah. Skidders doesn't have miles of social skills.
I guess it did.
Skidders in his glabra form, it doesn't help that he looks like a sex offender.
He needs glabro form to drive.
Are you gonna heal anything at all, Skidders? You're still hurt.
Oh yeah, and he's healing as well. That's why he's in glabro form. He's going to be in
So,
glabro form until
Go
he-
ahead and heal then.
Yay!
Okay.
That's 1.
And go again. How do I? Oof.
Uh-oh.
No.
Well,
Did that
you're
fail?
fully
Yeah.
healed.
Okay. Oh, Mikhail, how do I try to? I remember you talking about how to regen your willpower thing, like taking a point of Hoglost or talk to someone or what?
Oh, yeah, there are ways to regain willpower, absolutely. Touchstones help you regain aggravated willpower damage. Rules doesn't say that you can regain superficial willpower damage, but I think we've house ruled that you can anyway, because it would be weird if you can't regain any willpower at all. But it's gonna go with like the first aggravated, and then superficial, basically. But that requires a touchstone being around, which I
Okay,
don't think you
and-
have any.
No, they're all in New York. But I
Yeah.
thought you said something about taking a point of Verano or Hoglost to.
Oh yeah, that is a thing you can do as well. I think.
Didn't
it
we already
was-
roll? Oh, I guess not everybody got it last session.
No.
Not
But
everybody.
no, this is a choice you can make.
Yeah.
If you're full of willpower, if you're out of willpower, you can choose to take a point on purpose.
Yes,
to-
you can. And then you will regain. So okay, so it's Hauglosk. If you take a point of voluntary Hauglosk, you regain all willpower damage.
Okay, I'll do that.
Very well. You are unreasonably angry.
Yeah,
Because that
because
is
2
what-
people just died.
Yes. It is
It is
actually
really unreasonable.
reasonably reasonable. You're gonna recover all your willpower immediately.
Okay.
And even as we're coming to this plane, and you can see Skidders focusing and healing up the last scratches, and I don't know, Skidders, how will this getting a point of Hauglosk express itself? I have a feeling you have to do some kind of action to...
Okay, so what I picture it as is Skidders, like, he goes to open the door of the truck, and it doesn't come, like, straight away. It catches a bit, and he just goes full, like, Karen on. He just boom, boom, bang, and he starts hitting it with his knee, and he starts, "Come, you fucking thing!" He starts screaming at this door for about 5 minutes.
That makes sense. Meanwhile, there is actually 2 very angry dogs running towards you.
To me.
To the whole group?
Yeah. 2 Doberman pincers are rushing towards you, snarling towards the group, snarling,
Okay.
barking, a lot. They are.
And a big wolf jumps in front of them and growls and asserts dominant. It's like, whatever, 2 Doberman pinchers. You do have one in animal ken.
You do have one in animal ken, and also one in intimidation. Either way,
Yeah.
you know what? They might not be intimidated enough by you to run away. Let's have a look. Roll if you want to. It's up to you. Animal ken or intimidation. Since you are a big bad wolf, and they are Doberman pincers and smaller than you, but they're also very angry little dogs who have been trained.
Also, they
here,
outnumber
so-
you.
Yeah,
Can Stormspeaker
by one.
assist in this since he is also a big dog?
That's true.
You can absolutely assist. You are an even bigger dog, aren't you? Because you are, in fact...
Like
So
bear
that's
size.
like the
A
even
hippo.
bigger wolf standing behind her going.
Yeah.
So she's going to think she did it all on her own. I'm a big bad wolf.
Yes, you are. You know what? Between the 2 of you, I think you will be able to scare them off. Yeah. Also-
So you will turn
It's
around
like that
and
one
see him
movie-
and go, oh.
They're
it's
coming
like
up
that one-
to you, doing a very quick break, both of them, which just has them slipping through the muck on the ground. And then they notice the enormous hispo and the wolf and legs.
Realizing I'm not built for this. .png.
Yes. Nope. GIF. And tail between legs run away.
That's perfect.
Yep. So, we have doors, windows. Let's go. Everything is closed here, so you wanted to investigate while Skidders is taking True Strike away to...
I'll jump up on a Windows ledge. Buggy will jump up on a Windows ledge and look through the window while she waits for somebody to open the door.
Very well. I would like to have some... Who's gonna... Yeah, I don't know. Everybody can do a wits and awareness check.
I like that.
Don't ya? Yeah, that makes sense. You don't get to use your wilderness specialty here.
Yeah.
Because you are, in fact, not looking at the wilderness.
Oh, I know what I did on the last roll. I didn't put those dice in as pluses. I adjusted my die. That's
Oh.
what I did.
That's what you did. Okay. Wow. Sometimes taking half is the better choice, but yeah.
You know what? I am so not used to that. I'm so not used to that.
That makes sense.
Found it in Hellstrom.
But you could also take some willpower damage and re-roll 3 dice.
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. It's just like this. She's loose. She doesn't feel it. She doesn't feel it.
Very well. The door is, in fact, locked, and who's at the door? Run to fire is by the window. Stormspeaker cannot manipulate the door because he doesn't have opposable thumbs at the moment. Heart of ice.
Multiple thumbs. He'll go by the door and see if it's locked or not.
It is locked.
You can always start kicking.
I don't know if I have the strength for that.
Breaking
Old
down.
door
a
like
wooden
that, an old
door.
wooden door. You should be able to.
I
I
am not
think
exactly
honestly,
the
all you
strong.
need is like 2 strength dice to break down a door. It takes
Feats of
longer.
strength. Break down a wooden door. You can succeed with that automatically if you have strength 3, which
I do not.
he does not.
We don't necessarily want to make this look any more like a crime scene.
Oh, nobody's coming out here.
No.
However,
I
the
mean-
Hispo should be able to break through the door. Just don't break the lock.
Cannot promise you that, but yeah, let's see.
So, if you have lower, you may use strength and athletics to affect heavier weights than your strength allows.
Well, since there were Dobermans here, Stormspear is just going to do a loop around the building just to make sure there isn't just like a doggy door in the back door that we could just get in through.
I'll change it to Global phone to try to
Very
break
well.
the door open. Let's see.
Ugh. Oh no! You want to change into Glabro form, but as you try, the last little vestiges of rage just leaves you, and I think what is left behind is a feeling of distinct emptiness. You have lost the wolf. For now.
I'm too tired for this.
Yeah. It's been a long day and it's not even noon.
She's gonna motion to Storm Speaker and Rush of Fire. I need one of you to transform to Glabro to open this door. I don't have the energy for it.
Stormspeaker could just slam into the door.
Yeah, if it's
I will turn it into Glabro because I need opposable thumbs for the search anyway. And Glabro is Miles' doing crime form. So once he turns, he'll just sort of walk straight through the door, almost like he doesn't even have to like lunge into it. He'll just walk up to it, just turn one shoulder into it and just push through it.
And so you do. It just cracks under your strength and breaks out open. But as you do this, you feel a sudden excruciating pain in your foot and is impaled, and you take an aggravated point of damage. You just rage point to you, sir. Your foot has just been impaled. There's literally something sticking up through your foot, like your shoe and everything.
Well, I guess we did.
Chunk,
kinda.
it said. It's a chunk from down below. And looking at what has gone right through your foot, it's glittering of silver. It's essentially a silver spike.
Ooh.
And as sort of calmly as you saw Miles walk through the door, you see him like pull his foot up hard, sort of hop back on his other foot, and then he just says, "Silver booby traps." What's the rules for healing this in Labra? I can only do one heal at a time, right?
So, to heal an aggravated, it takes 2 rage checks, I believe, to heal 1 aggravated. Yeah.
Can afford that.
Yes, you can.
Is that good or bad? I think Blight's confused me.
He is losing wolf
Oh no.
right now. He's not lost the wolf yet, but he is losing rage. So, you're
And
just...
then just as it still stood there with the foot up in the air, you just see the stream of blood coming out of it just stop.
Yep. There's still a hole in your boot, or your shoe, or whatever kind of footwear Stormspeaker might be wearing. But inside it, when you look through the leather of your footwear, there is... Yeah, your sock also has a very big hole in it, but underneath is nice and smooth skin by now.
And actually, that is more of an annoyance than it otherwise would be, because we're wearing consecrated clothes, so now he's going to need to consecrate a new set of boots and socks.
Yep. Then I guess we're
Oh,
going
now-
inside, aren't we?
Buggy will go up and sniff the silver spike and wrinkle her nose a little bit in disgust and gingerly step over it into the room and let that curiosity lead the way.
And that Curious has never killed a Garou, of course.
Oh, never.
Do be careful. You don't know how many more other traps we have in here.
Well, yeah, we're getting into the house, and you're getting into a living room, essentially, and there are hunting trophies mounted on the wall. It's a rustic cabin. It's fairly simple. You have your kitchen, and you have your living room with a couch. There is, in fact, a TV, because it's 1992.
It appears to be some sort of anti-tank rounds next to the fireplace here.
It could be. There could be, but there isn't. But there's also a hallway leading down to other rooms and a stairwell leading up. And also, in fact, a door that is, in fact, made out of fireproof steel.
Okay, first thing Miles is going to do is going to go into like the kitchen or the bathroom or the sort of supply closet, wherever he finds it first. Get a bottle of bleach and pour it on this bloody boot. Any of his own blood that is spread around just inside the doorway or where he's been walking. And go outside and pour it on any of True Strike's blood that has been spilled on the ground, because they're not getting our DNA.
It's 1992, so I don't think Store Speaker knows about DNA and for using DNA in forensic evidence, because you have no investigation skill at all. But you do know about leaving blood at the sign of the crime. They're not going to have your blood type, at the very least.
Yeah. One thing I'm also thinking about is that, honestly, Stormspeaker totally seems like the type, even before he became a Garu, to be conspiratorial.
Yeah, it makes sense. He has his radio show, right?
I want to try something now that he's in the part of Vice is in the living room.
Yeah.
He's gonna close his eyes and spend a willpower point to activate. Now, how do I lick this? I think that's how you do it.
Scent of the past. Oh yeah.
Best. Yes. So I want to use willpower point, and I need to roll intelligence and wisdom.
Right.
To see if I can get any glimpses of what happened here recently. Let's see, intelligence and wisdom. Let's see, where is it? I think it's this was for...
Let's see
Wisdom,
now. We
wisdom,
wanted to
wisdom.
say a crow spirit is helping you with this, of course. What is the information you're seeking?
I want to know if I can see visions of what happened basically within the last few hours before the mysterious Glarbro appeared and basically pissed off somewhere in the wind. Or anything that comes to mind within the last few days of what happened here in this cabin.
Okay.
Like how this guy turned Glabro.
I'd say it's a difficulty 2.
Alright, let's see. Find out what we got, because I actually didn't know. 2. Looks like, I think.
Yeah, you could even take half and get 2, so you didn't even have to roll.
Like Rusty Fire, I also forget about the take half one.
I'll keep reminding you until it's in your head, probably.
Okay, so yes, I got 2 successes for it.
The living room smells like cold metal and weapon fat. Under the normal cabin scent. Weapon, lubricant, that's what we call it in English. It's not a home scent, it's a workspace. You catch repeated loops of movement initially, pacing from the table to the window near the door over and over. Gun oil, dry chemical bite of cleaner, the dusty sweetness of paper that's been handled too often. Fear sweat. It's a fear held tight, turned into focus, and then it comes into clarity for you. You see that man that you saw during the fight, only now he doesn't look Glabro. He looks normal Homid. He sits at the table, he's spreading out maps and documents, he's tapping points with a knuckle, he's pushing them aside to lay out gear, he checks ammo, he handles something heavy and angular, he's moving to the door, and then there is a shift and you can see him come through the door. Now it's nighttime. He's coming through the door, the living room door. This is a little bit later, right? This is the most recent. So it's like you're watching from the further past into the recent history. And this is like last night or something. And you can see this man, he's coming from the outside and he's carrying the 3 pelts from, I think you can guess. And he's slamming the door shut behind him. He's closing it carefully because he's also checking the tripwires for the door and the windows. And then he's going straight towards... He's out of this room and in towards that hallway where you have the other rooms, including the basement door. And that's it. He disappears from your view. Let's describe him in some detail. This is the first time you've seen him up close and personal, isn't it? He's a middle-aged man, actually. So in his mid-30s, maybe. Hazel eyes, brown hair, excellent physical shape. Like, this guy has been working out. He is as big as Themis was. Just muscular, broad-shouldered, and an absolute scowl on his face. The lines in his face, you know how some people get wrinkles in their face based on laughing an entire lifetime? This man has just scowled an entire lifetime. It's just a face that is scrunched up in hatred.
We need to figure out the basement.
All those papers and maps and stuff he was looking through, are they still here?
You know what? Yeah, I think they are. They're lying on the table, and he has definitely put a circle around the area where the 3 Lupus former lost ones, the pack, their hunting grounds. It's very clearly marked. And there's a list of... There's like a list of staffers from the mining company. And he has marked certain names there and just ringed them.
So it's a long time coming. As Heart of Ice looks through the maps. He brought the
And
pelts
isn't there, do we
here.
also... You go ahead.
I would say he brought the pelts here and went to the basement.
And also, with all his maps and documents and stuff, is there... we know where the mine is.
Yeah, there's a
Because I'm thinking, somebody this evil who owns a mine, we're going to have to go and scrub the Umbra there as well eventually, but that's not priority for the moment.
We don't know who owns the mine. He was a manager at the mine. Though, yeah, we do know who owns the mine. Pentex owns the mine, so there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, now, yeah, knowing that that's who owns the mine, we have to scrub the mine.
That's
Yeah,
my point
yeah,
for-
that is-
for
that
that
is-
later. Yeah.
Absolutely plausible thing to do.
And is there also any further documents on the plan to buy up the land around Valkenberg?
No documents here about that. But you did find those in his office when you were searching his office.
Remember the layout again. There's the... Is it the basement with the steel door, or is the steel door somewhere else?
Nope, the basement has the steel door.
And it just occurs to me, look around, is there anywhere else on the top level that is of interest? Would you do like a generic search any further?
How about an
True.
investigation check?
Which we are all terrible at.
Wits and investigation. It's gonna be like runs to fire, looking at the various documents and tilting her head this way and that way, and just okay. Yeah, no. Heart of Ice has 2 dots of him, so you can take 2. You can get 2 successes if you're taking half Hearts of Ice, but that may or may not be enough.
I'll attempt it. I'll take half and see if it's enough to.
Not to get anything interesting.
Hmm,
Just because I said take half.
let's see.
I'm gonna even that.
Should probably find a key if there's any.
Well, did you want to roll for the thing? After all?
Yeah, I'll roll for a thing after all. You said wits and investigation?
Yes, please.
Let's see. It's... Oh, hello. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I'm having quite the issue with this thing. Alright, let's see.
That's 3 successes.
That's 3 successes.
You have not found a key. There's a lock. I think you're gonna find that the key is on the inside. It's being locked from the inside.
Runs to fire, will sniff around the door and kind of yip back in Guru, burn wood, fire wood. And she'll nudge her nose on the wood beams that surround the door.
That is true. The door has fire.
If the walls are wood, you just burn around the door and the door will fall down.
That would make sense, yeah. Actually, you are going to find that this steel door has been also tripwired. Hardwired.
Ooh.
Be careful.
fact-
There's booby trap somewhere.
Every single doorway has a tripwire.
This is gonna be a while.
It's
Watch-
gonna be a
watch your
while.
steps.
Which is why we're going over to the Sept of the Pure Heart for Skidders and True Strike as you're going to the Sept to report in and maybe get some help. Obviously, it's going to take a while for you to get there, Skidders, because you're driving a truck and it's a while away, but we want to give True Strike a chance to be a part of this session, right?
I don't know. Do we want that? I wouldn't be totally against the
Fuck
idea
off,
of him being in a
Dan.
coma.
This is the Pure Heart Sept. You are not a part of it, but they know about you, and they're
Well,
not
like
gonna
I've been
stop
here
you from-
before.
Yeah, you've been here before. You've been introduced, and when you come bearing a severely wounded Garou, it's not like they're gonna turn you away. They're a bit surprised that you're coming to the Pure Sept of the Pure Heart and not going to Valkenberg Foundation, but for medicine. But that's fine. They're gonna work their magic and do with Rage 4, Jake. They have to do 5 successes on a Mother's Touch, which requires like the most epic theurge we could think of. I'm sure they have some highly qualified theurges around here, though. Let's go. But I roll terribly, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. With a willpower reroll, I'm going to get myself 5, aren't I? Which is going to be just enough to heal 1 aggravated and let you wake up finally. And not be health impaired either. Obviously, the Sept of the Pure Heart is very curious to hear about what has happened, but so while the theurges are minding True Strike, what is Skidders telling Takakane and the leadership of the Sept?
He's telling them, I guess he'll start at like discovering, like hearing rumors about wolf attacks and investing in that, and he'll give his theory about how he thinks that Sam Haight put out these rumors himself so he'd have an excuse to hunt wolves in this area, and he thinks Sam Haight might be a BSD because the other thing is that he suddenly became a werewolf, which as far as he knows is impossible. So maybe he only pretended to be a kinfolk, and he was actually a black star dancer, because I know he's working with Pentex.
I mean, all these news, like Pentex,
Yeah.
this particular kinfolk, oh my, the mine is owned by Pentex. That is
Yes.
going to cause a stir, because it's going to turn out, as Takakane can tell you, that this is very sad news for us. We have had our doubts about the mine, and we have about the mining company, and we have been worried that it might disturb the wild and spread worm influence. But even so, many of our kinfolk have gained employment there, and it is a way for them to support their families, which is a rare thing for us to find. Not many would employ our people, at least not in the town. We've not always had good relations with the white farmers around here.
Okay, we could. How about I could rob a bank and give you all the money, and you could buy all the white farmers out. I'll put that on my things to do.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about, Skidders?
It's Takakane will look at you, and he will actually break a smile. You are Ragabash, yes.
Yeah.
Spoken like one of your auspice, he says. And that's where he's gonna leave it.
I'm assuming.
He respects the hustle, but he's not gonna say it that way.
Yeah. Jake will finally, I guess, wake
Yeah,
up.
you're gonna wake up in Lodge, and there is smoke in here. They've done smudging, they've done rituals of cleansing for you, and of course, you're gonna feel that warmth through your body as some of the pain subsides, but there is so much left. This is not where you last held consciousness. Yeah, there's a group of natives around you who are, as you're coming to, they're gonna give you something to drink. It's some kind of herbal mixture. And your wounds are being tended to as well with the medicine check and everything. Yeah. Unfortunately, doing a medicine check on you, they have to have 5 successes on that roll because that's how severe. So the difficulty of converting aggravated to superficial using regular, like the skilled medicine, is the number of aggravated wounds you've taken.
Oof.
Yeah, oof. Oof indeed.
And you're Mikkel, so...
I guess I am.
If you
I guess
want,
we can do another Mother's Touch on you because they have more willpower points. Though.
But once he's awake, can't he go into Glabro and start spending rage and
Yeah, he
you
can do
know?
that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's go.
That solves
I'm
2
gonna
problems
heal
at once,
one
like.
more aggravated for you through Mother's Touch. That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna get for now.
Yeah, and I guess feeling the pain all over his body, he'll switch over to Glabro and ask, do any of you know what happened?
They will just shake their heads, but your packmate is close by. I'm sure he will tell you. That is
Thank
one
you.
aggravated healed. Are we doing more healing here? Rage checks?
There's also the bodies
Well, that
in the
was
back of the
this
truck,
one,
so
this is,
There are the bodies in the back of the truck, absolutely, but he hasn't seen them yet.
yeah, he doesn't know how bad it is.
So
And-
that's one aggravated healed for you,
Yeah.
right?
And then he'll just keep doing it while he walks over to where the car are to find the other packmate, whoever they are.
Yep. Turns out to be
Oh,
Skidders. Why
um,
don't you
can-
roll another rage die, I guess, Jake, to see if you can heal that next.
I guess I'll ask him. What you say his name was? Takakane?
Yep, it's
Takakane?
right there on the
I'll-
screen.
Oh, wait, sorry. That doesn't help me because I'm used to the Irish alphabet and we have our own rules.
You have the weirdest rules.
Yeah. Once after I see Skidders, I'll just say, "Where's the rest of the pack?"
Wait, before Jake comes, I want to ask Takakane to start arranging a funeral for Miranda and Bryce because we're not taking their bodies all the way back to New York. That doesn't seem like respectful thing to do.
Takakane nods. It's the least we can do. You have been strong allies and you have helped our kinfolk.
Okay, now that's where I can talk to Jake. So
We're going to have a rite of mourning tonight. in honor
Oh,
of their
great.
deeds.
Thank you, Elder. I need to talk to my... And thank you for... I know you're worried why we came here instead of to Valkenburg, but because of the situation, I don't trust the security there. There's too many there who aren't Guru, like just kinfolk. Like I know the security was broken at least once by Sam Hates just sending charity money. So there could be others like the secretaries or whatever who could. I just don't trust what's going on there at the moment.
Takakane will listen to this and nod slowly. He'll say, "Do you have any proof of ill doings? This is troubling news. We've always seen this foundation and Director Valkenberg
No, I don't have.
as
It's
strong
just.
ally."
I guess it's just because I know for a fact that their security was broken by that Sam Haight had spent a lot of time and he knew their ritual, he knew their routines and all that kind of thing. So maybe it was a case of him observing from afar, but it just means that right now, with Haight still on the loose, I just didn't want to go there again, just in case. Maybe I'm being too careful.
I understand, he says. I think you've chosen wisely.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay, now let's talk to
Yeah,
Jake.
Poor guy's been just sitting there for a session and a half.
Yeah. True Strike will just say, Skidders, where's the rest of the pack?
Okay, I guess you need to sit down, Jake.
I'm standing up.
After you were knocked out, things didn't go 100% their way. Like, we managed to get through, but unfortunately, Miranda and Bryce were both killed.
What?
I mean, Jake, you can see that I don't think that Skidders is trying to hide his emotions at all, are you?
No.
So,
where are
if
they
he
right
was...
if you've ever seen Skidders absolutely broken, this is what Skidders looks like, absolutely broken.
Yeah, Jake just grabs Skidders by the shoulder and just says, where are they right now?
They're in the back of the truck where I've had...
Skidders
the other here is going...
immediately runs over to the back of the truck.
I guess I'm gonna give you 2 rage points immediately for seeing 2 of your former packmates dead in the back of the truck.
And just True Strike, after seeing the mangled bodies of his packmates, just looks at them silently for a long moment and just says in a cold voice, let's return to where the rest of the pack is.
Are you kidding? You can barely walk, dude. You're staying here.
He's
Maybe I'll
very
go back,
much healed up by now. He's almost fine. Like, his clothes are in absolute tatters, obviously, because all those clothes, but... Yeah,
okay, if he looks almost fine, I'll be like, okay, get some new clothes and we'll go back.
No, we don't have time for this. Drive. And with that, Jake will just get in the passenger seat.
I guess I'll salute Takakane and say I'll return later on. I'll leave the bodies with them so that they can do.
Yeah, they will prepare the
preparation and
rites. True
We'll be
Strike.
back later on. Thank you for your... I know us New Yorkers must be in imposition to you, but if you ever come to New York, technically, know that there's a place for you at the... What's it called? The central... What's the actual name of this central
Sept of
park?
the Green.
Sept of the Green.
Yeah, Sept of the
Yeah,
Green.
Sept of the Green.
No
And I guess
warrior,
we start...
no one true to Gaia is an inconvenience for us.
Thank you. And then when I start bombing back.
True Strike, did you want to try to heal your last 2 wounds?
Yep.
I can
And it's
imagine.
rage checks per aggravated?
Yeah, it's two rage checks per aggravated, exactly.
All right, that's one,
Actually,
which means
thought
I'm
about
at.
the state of Jake's clothes. If you get clawed up while you're in one of your naked forms, Kreenos or Hispo, and then you switch back into human form, are your clothes damaged like you'd been wearing them? And it
Isn't that a
happened.
good question? So many
I don't think
questions I
so.
have to answer.
I
Let's
would
go.
imagine not. Like it was basically.
Are we
putting-
doing the last as well, or are you fine now?
I'm gonna have the 2 remaining rage dice in reserve.
Fair enough. And now it's just one rage, so now I think Buggy can fix the rest for you.
I would
Jake will
say
do the-
for the clothes, when you're in your other forms, they become glyphs or tattoos on your skin or your fur. So they wouldn't really take damage in exactly the same way. So maybe rough and tumble.
Yeah, True Strike was unfortunately in his Homid form when all this
Yeah.
transpired.
He was in his human
I
form
was
when
in
he got.
Hispo, then I got taken down to Hamid after I was knocked out.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
you
he
were in
was
Hispo. That's fair. So your clothes are not actually completely shredded. That's fair. Okay.
Maybe
Anyway,
a bit bloody from being in Hamid for a while, but
you have acquired another battle scar, as it were. Unfortunately, 5th edition doesn't have battle scars, which is very sad.
yeah, I've been
Oh.
keeping track of them. And by the way, I'm thinking eventually now I need to create a new icon, one with a missing eye.
We can get that fixed. Meanwhile, in the house that Sam built, what are we doing here, folks?
What are the tripwires wired to?
Like the doorposts?
But what's the weapon? What's the booby trap that will...
You saw, didn't you feel the booby trap last time? You don't know if it's the same all the time, but yeah, okay, Heart of Ice did something under the floorboards, so it's gonna come up and
But
much
think
like
seriously, poke it with a stick, get a broom
Yes.
handle, and trip the wires.
poke it with a stick works. And in every case, there's gonna be a piece of. It's actually not so much a silver spike. It's rather someone has taken silver cutlery and just sharpened them really hard on a whetstone or like a wheel to make them just absolutely blisteringly sharp. But yeah, you can definitely trip these wires. It's going to be harder to get through the door, of course, because it's a steel door. And yeah.
So Miles will just find a convenient big piece of metal, ideally a crowbar, but whatever will make do. And it'll make that door not be there anymore.
Very well. Since this is a feat of strength, I'm going to ask you to roll strength and athletics, please. And I'll need some successes because your strength. It's funny that the 2 best burglars or door bashers in the group are currently not here. But
They were indisposed, so
they
couldn't
were
help it.
indisposed, yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's just sad, isn't it, Miles?
I can't sacrifice a willpower to try and redo it.
Very well. I think this is a matter of time, isn't it? Because you failed this so hard, I'm actually gonna fast forward our scene here. You're gonna be fighting that door for a good long while. And let's have Skidders. Let's see if you can get your ride back to these guys in time here. We don't have that much. Okay, should I let... Yeah. It's going to take a while to break down the door because Storm Speaker and the gang here are not very good at breaking down the door. So I guess Jake and Miles will arrive at the house that Sam built sometime around noon now, I think, probably. And no, not Miles. He's not here twice. It's Skidders. What am I talking about? And yeah, you're back at Sam's house. Everybody's back at Sam's house, and you're gonna see Stormspeaker working with a lot of futility and just absolute hopelessness to get through the steel door.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you come back.
Jake will head over to Stormspeaker and just say,
Yep.
"Let me try."
Wait, Okay.
Well, where Stormspeaker just hands him the metal bar and steps aside.
Ironically, Jake is also not super strong for being a rune.
What in the fuck?
And I see we're rolling like me today, aren't we?
Okay.
And
Gentlemen,
Buggy's just gonna sit there and say, burn wood, fire it.
Honestly, I'm starting to
can I
agree.
use my professional burglar skills to open this door?
You can absolutely do that. That was just 2
I have, like-
successes. Okay, yeah, you're not getting through it either, True Strike.
And with that,
Okay.
True Strike will just start slamming the door and just say, God fucking damn it!
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
I forget how much dice I have
You
in
have-
Dex plus larceny.
You have 4 successes. This is also a break-in, but that's still just 4 successes. So, yeah, Skidders will get through the door. Chick.
And he'll look at Jake and Miles and say, up here for thinking, down there for dancing.
Before we head down, I just want to make sure with everybody here that you guys are prepared for whatever's down there.
Yeah, I don't think I can be, but I'll be the best I can possibly can.
I'm also not in the best shape, so if we get to a fight, I'm not gonna be much of use.
What do you mean you're not in the best shape?
I don't have much rage within me right now.
Oh,
With that, True Strike will just say, should we perform a Rite of Rage then?
yes. If Heart of Ice doesn't have any rage, let's do it with rage.
Forgive the god mod, but Buggy will go up and bite him in the shin to piss him off.
What?
No.
That might... You'd have to actually hurt him, too. To do
Yeah.
that. But a Rite of Rage... Okay,
It'll
you
be
are going to do
bonding,
a
too.
Rite of Rage, Jake. Are you?
Yeah. With, I guess, so this is a difficulty 4 with...
Equal to the number of participants, though never less than 3. The number of participants is... Yeah, I guess it's 4.
5?
There we go.
Oh,
5.
4.
5, I guess. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't need rage, so I guess I can watch.
Okay. So a difficulty 3 then.
Yeah, I don't need rage either.
Okay.
Difficulty
have-
3 then. Glory and Intimidation. Do the Rite of Rage. What does this rite look like, True Strike?
I'm thinking maybe some sort of ritualized dueling.
All right. Is Skidders taking part? Who is taking part? We can have up to 2 more. Heart of Ice, you
I
will
am.
regain your rage, your wolf, as you're taking part in this. And you're dancing with each other. It's weird abstracted knife duel in Samuel Haight's living room.
They're doing a haka.
Yeah, basically. Rah!
Okay.
But it's Viking
Ah.
style instead, because True Strike, of course, being a get offenders.
I was thinking more of a flexing match, but
That's
Too
what
bad,
I
I'm the right master. Do the ritualized knife fight.
Yep,
Yeah.
really.
If you're the right master, you can do a flex up.
all right. He has no problem with that. He's more adept with weaponry than actual fangs and claws, anyway.
Then why are you even complaining?
Because I have a. You can complain.
Yeah. Okay. If you're okay, how's your health? How's everybody's health?
I'm fine.
I am a
Um,
little hurt, but
Okay. If you're runs to fire, can you try Mother's Touch on Heart of Ice? So
I
What's
don't
his
have much
rage?
1. So you should be fine. You should be
So
fine.
I
Hey, okay.
think that will do it. If you just need intelligence and glory, I'm gonna check that half thing. Intelligence and glory.
If you have 2 points of intelligence, you automatically heal him.
Yeah, I have more than I have 2 points in intelligence and then the glory, so that's at least 3.
Yeah.
All right.
So how much do I get healed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Costs you a superficial point of willpower, of course, but this means True Strike is now fully ready to engage. And
Heartwise, are you okay? With health? Miles, what about you? Are you okay with health?
Fine.
Okay. And Run Fire, you're okay? I'm okay. And Jake, are you totally healed?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I do need a little help though.
With what?
Health.
Oh, health again?
How much did I get healed? I thought the storyteller said that the Stormbeef speaker got healed.
Okay, spend another point of superficial willpower to do Heartwise, I guess.
Storm Speaker's been fine since the end of the fight.
yeah,
Okay, so how much do I get healed then? Because I didn't hear that part then.
if she does a Mother's Touch on you, that is going to be, what would you say, Intelligence Glory, which is too superficial.
Okay. We'll take those off. Alright. I'm good
You
enough.
can learn Mother's Touch.
That is, I think it's a Theurge.
Theurge gift.
Yeah.
So it's not something that that others of us could learn, because that'd be handy.
It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, it's a Theurge specifically.
Yeah, that's how you make your diverse parties.
Yep. Even in 5th edition, it's still an exclusive Theurge gift.
Yeah. So with that, True Strike will lead the charge into the basement.
He will fuck.
As he charges, Buggy will yip out.
Not charges, just like basically just
Patient, Jake, you're hard. Look, I've already lost 2. You almost died. Let's be patient. Okay,
No,
everybody
he
go down
can
the
rush.
group.
No, he declared his action. He's rushing in, and Buggy's giving him a warning
Yeah, like
because
come
he
forward.
wasn't here for the trap.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that, didn't we?
Yeah, I guess I'll do its awareness check.
You've already sprung the trap, so the
I'm
silver
just
spike
saying we don't
sticking out
know
of
if there's any in the basement. That's what
You
she's
don't
calling
know
out.
if there's any in the basement. This is true. You sprung the trap up by the door.
I think I'll just take. I can just take half. Nope, because -2. Because this is. Yep. Let's see what happens. Oh my God! Yes.
See everything. It's a complete failure. You know what? With that total failure, I'm actually gonna have you step on the silver spike because I am that petty. You are just rushing in. Oh, okay, you used your willpower, so you don't step on the silver spike. Good for you. Now you have some real willpower impairment, don't you?
Yeah.
You're a tired man. You are rushing down into the basement and ahead of the rest of the pack. And you're getting down to the first room. And it's messed up, man. It's just almost the full length of the house above. All the trophies. There's a lion that's been stuffed and placed against one wall. The full stuffed skin of a mountain gorilla. And all sorts of other animal hides. Trophies on the wall. This is a lot more exotic than the specimens he had up in the living room as you're coming down. So far, no booby traps.
Yeah. True Strike will.
This guy's like that dentist who shot Cecil the Lion.
I was. Yeah, he is. So True Strike will continue through this basement.
I'm gonna ask you all for wits and awareness checks yet again.
Okay, I'm taking half this time.
You're
Okay,
taking half this
taking half of
time.
that.
Very good. So that's gonna be 3 successes. Which this time is... Okay, yeah, that's gonna be enough for something. Oh my god, Jake. You're just standing in the room looking at all the trophies of animals, and that's basically it for you. Nothing else. Where is everything? Where the things I want to fight, Jake, are not here.
Yeah, Jake is too just filled with. He's exhausted. He's grieving the loss of his packmates, and he is angry.
It's not going to take too long for the rest of you, and Runs to Fire is going to be the first one to see this. Because you have the best wits, apparently. There is one wall that has, shall we say, slightly particular trophies.
Oh, Christ.
Garou heads, 2 of them, with glyphs. Carved in. One of them has the glyph of a Get of Fenris, Jake. In fact, I'm going to give you 2 range for seeing this, and everybody else gets just the 1, because you can now conclude that the 3 lupus in the woods were not the first Garou that Samuel Haight killed. There's 2 more on this wall.
Wait, are they wolf heads or?
They're wolf heads, yeah.
Alright.
This one on the right, is this a black spiral dancer?
If you knew enough occult, you might be able to tell. But there is, in fact, a glyph that you've never seen upon the head of that particular wolf. Yeah, of that
I have a
Garou.
2 in occult.
Let's go. You have some intelligence as well. Yeah, that should be a black spiral dancer rune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's not with the BSDs. Because I don't know enough about the BSDs to know if they fight each other or not.
Yeah, unfortunately, Themis
yeah.
was the one who knew things about black spiral dancers. But it seems like Samuel Haight didn't care.
An equal opportunity wolf killer.
Garou killer. If we call the black spiral dancers Garou still. Probably not.
No, we don't. I
we
think they
don't.
were kicked out of the
Yeah, they were.
Werewolves, not Garou, though.
Yeah, not Garou. They're not part of the nation, that's for sure. I would like some more wits and awareness checks.
I'll try.
I'm gonna
I'm not
roll
gonna
this
succeed,
time.
but-
What the heck? Why not? Mix it up.
Let's do
Oh,
it.
shit. I actually did something pretty decent with that. I cooked.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so many rage dice are being rolled.
Yeah, possible brutal outcome. That's a brutal outcome. Unfortunately, Runs to Fire, you're just so angry from seeing this that you can't think or see straight anymore. Like, someone who has mounted a Garou head on the wall, a lupus Garou head.
Yeah. She'll begin pacing back and forth, like almost like a caged animal.
There is a strange glow underneath this particular wall. Actually, some smoke that is coming up from underneath the wall, like this particular wall segment with these 2 heads on it. A little bit of green smoke, in fact.
The first thing.
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
First thing True Strike does before investigating the smoke is he grabs the BSD head and slams it to the ground.
You just tear it up. Rack!
Do you know it's a BSD head? It does.
Well,
Buggy say so?
Rite of Fire said it was a BSD head.
Oh, did you? Oh, did she say that out loud? Fair enough.
So yeah,
Okay.
he'll just destroy that head first and then see the green smoke. And we'll say, hey, there's some green smoke over there.
You know what? As you tear that thing out, boom! Everything becomes smoke fire, chaos around you. And yeah, everybody's gonna take some damage because that was, yeah, you're all... Obviously, the one who takes the most damage is gonna be True Strike.
Jesus Christ.
Man, True Strike is just not having a good time, man.
No, not at all.
This is the fun part of Werewolf. You get in that rage spiral, and it's just constant chaos.
Luckily for
fine.
you, the damage True Strike is superficial, so you only take the 4.
Oh my god.
And you're
Just a
standing
casual
in the
four.
way for the other people. The rest of you all only take 3 superficial health damage from the
Okay.
explosion.
And as I get hit, I just yell, "Fuck!"
You need to calm down because this
Jake?
place will be trapped.
Everybody's
I-
just falling over each other in the smoke and rubble from the blown out. That used to be a door
Oh my god.
that just
Jake,
exploded right in your faces.
I've lost 2 pack members there. I'm not losing a third. If you can't stop touching things, just go upstairs and stay out of the way. Because I am not burying 3 werewolves tonight, okay? I'm not. I don't care.
Is the fire still green?
There isn't much of a fire. There's just lingering smoke at this
Okay.
point, and it's collected in along. There's a tunnel going down towards somewhere in the dark. Also,
Let's take
everybody
the-
got a rage point for being hurt, obviously.
Yeah, I already added that one.
Let's just take the guru hits and let's go.
Wait.
But door! Door!
Yeah, we're definitely investigating this.
It's a
Just
tunnel.
give me a second,
that-
I need
like,
to...
Like, the door has blown up to very small smithereens. Obviously, both the BSD head and the Get of Fenris head have also... They've been flung across the room to the other side, essentially. Whatever remains
Have we
of them.
seen the skins, the pelts?
Nope.
No, we haven't seen them yet.
No
so
pelts
let's
yet.
continue going. Okay. Okay, let's... Okay, Jake, you're not to touch anything, please. Okay?
Jake will reluctantly nod and fall behind Skidders.
Okay. Now, everybody, please be careful. This guy has left so many traps. Please be careful. Let's go down this tunnel and hopefully not get horribly murdered.
Yeah.
This point, I wouldn't
Skidders?
surprise if
Some
we were.
wits and awareness? What are your wits and awareness down this tunnel? Do we have any light
Me?
sources here? Because it's okay. There's gonna be light ahead of you. You can see flickering candles, candlelight ahead of you.
And do
But in lupus form, I should be able to see somewhat in dim light. No color.
Yeah, I think they ditched the whole sensory.
Yeah,
those
the 2 forms are
information,
basically
unfortunately,
identical.
which is annoying.
Ugh.
There we are. Yeah. We
They
can
took out all
hold
the fun stuff.
it.
Yeah. They have gotten rid of a lot of fun stuff. Technically, like, even though I'm a human being and you're a wolf, we both have access to the same native gifts. They also
I don't know
lupus
why.
gifts.
Yeah, Lupus Born. There are some Lupus Born gifts in another source book
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just told you a
because
lie.
they were like that. But
Oh
anyway,
no, I know they took out, because they took out the Matisse, so
yeah.
they took out the...
Anyway, Miles, you can't see any traps around here. Isn't that a relief?
Well, that's the thing. 2 of us have the ability to just look into the Umbra without fully going into the Umbra, right?
Oh yeah, penumbral senses.
I'm just thinking, green glow. This is something that deserves at least an Umbral look.
If you want to.
Oh, so is it still green? So we still see the green glow? The smoke.
There's some smoke. There is some flickering candles ahead.
But the green
Oh,
stuff.
I can't do it because then I'll willpower impair myself.
The smoke is green, yeah, and it's been crawling along the rooftop, the ceiling. Then.
Can I investigate the smoke in a sense? Because I've got science with the specialty of fire.
I guess you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of see if I can figure out what's making the smoke green.
It's some kind of mineral that's doing
Copper?
the smoke green. Yeah, some kind of powder.
So I can pick up an unusual mineral type scent. So not like a
Yes.
supernatural thing, like a rock thing.
Yeah, it's a rock thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's not a
weird
gift
rock.
or speaking of, because you are now entering this chamber, which is not terribly large, and just a wits and occult for you runs to fire. Someone has performed actual magic here.
Ooh.
This is
What?
this is not your standard. I'm going down to a New York store with cool crystals and pretend tarot or what have you. This is the real thing. Someone has done actual magic here, thaumaturgical magic.
Okay, so
I'm not
She's
sure
ve-
that Runs to Fire would be able to tell the difference between thaumaturgical magic
No,
or awakened magic. This is real magic.
no, it's not guru magic. It's real magic,
it's not
but
a
it's not
ritual.
guru magic.
It's not a ritual.
Yeah.
It's not a rite. It's not a gift. This is
Yeah.
some kind of magic that basically any human can do if they know the right things and have the right mind for it.
She
So
will put her nose to the ground like a bloodhound and go right in and start sniffing everything. Get all those scents in her memory. And looking at symbols and stuff like that. Totally, she's in magic mode, totally oblivious to anything else. Other than figuring out what this magic is.
Yeah, that's
She's not, I know she's not going to figure it out right this second. It's just
no,
like,
that's fair.
yeah, putting it in there so that if she encounters it again or what have you.
Makes sense. It has just a distinct smell here of. There is a bowl right in the middle of the circle that is fairly large, and it contains the residue of something, an ointment, if you will. And you're just poking your nose close enough to it. Herbs and minerals, definitely, in this bowl. And
Do they still have medicine bags in 5th edition? I didn't see those either.
I didn't see it either, no. But this
Okay,
is
well,
not.
how the
This
heck
is not.
am I supposed to carry stuff?
Yes. You dedicate the item to you and it merges with you.
So, I
Yeah.
know, but I just
But yeah, this is like the candles have burned very low by now. Half of them have gone out because they're just gone. And there is just residue and remains. Whatever happened here is a while ago. Clearly. A couple of hours, apparently. But the ritual itself must have taken hours to perform.
yeah. She's gonna get back at somebody who has opposable thumbs at the moment. And she'll pause for a minute as if trying to find the right word. Take goo. What goo?
Let's see.
Okay.
And we'll pick it up. We'll pick up the bowl of mysterious goo ointment thing.
And I've actually got 3 science. Do I have any chance of identifying any of this stuff?
Yeah, sure. Minerals, herbs, candles.
The more important thing is, have we found the pelts in this room?
No.
Was he wearing the pelts when we saw him?
Nope.
I don't
He
think
was
so.
technically a glob, blah, 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 blah.
He was a blah blah, yes.
He was a blah, 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 blah. He was a glabra form, as far as we could tell.
He looked to you like a glabra form, yes.
Yeah.
So, the pelt. Anything?
Could you
Anything
do
about
that
what?
looking back in time thing again in here to see what he did?
No, God, can I do that again?
Yes, you can.
Okay, let's try. Let's find out if I have the gumption.
Let's find out.
Let's see. I think it's. Is it the little person? No, it's this one.
Send to the past.
Thank-
Willpower damage and intelligence, wisdom. Yeah.
Alright, 1 willpower damage check, and then intelligence and wisdom. Wisdom. Oh, renown. Renown.
Yes, it's under renown.
Alright. Let's find out what we can do. Looks like
3 successes. Look at that.
All right.
All right. You will see, again, you're going to get Scent of the Past. So your mind is traveling backwards in this room like a reversing film almost. You can see far in the past when Samuel Haight was digging out this place, and he was doing it alone over years and years. This has taken decades of work to complete. Like the first shovel put in here by a very young Samuel Haight, and then slowly but surely building this room almost in high speed. You can see it happening. But then you have, just last night, he's coming down here. He's coming down here with the 3 pelts that he had just gathered from those lost ones, those lupus lost ones that he had helped kill if he didn't kill them himself, but by now we can definitely suspect that he did it himself. Like, those hunters, maybe not skilled at killing Garou. And he's starting the ritual here, and he's producing 2 more pelts. One of them very much looking like it could have belonged to that Get of Fenris, and the other one to the Black Spiral Dancer. And he is preparing the 3 new pelts with the stuff that comes from the bowl. And then he begins a chant, and it takes all night for him to do this, as he is dressing himself in the 5 pelts. He's completely naked at this point, and he has stitched together these 5 pelts to make himself a skin suit. And as this ritual comes to a close, you can see how these pelts are literally sucked into his very body. And he is screaming of pain, but it's a happy pain. It's a madness in his eyes as he's doing this. There's just this complete satisfaction of years and years of hard labor finally coming into fruition. Ugh. And he's standing there and in the middle of the circle, still human. And then he's focusing inwards, and you can see him just tightening up his hands into balled fists, and he starts transforming from human into glabro form, and you can hear him like laughing as a maniac. He's wearing a pendant. That's the only thing he has on. That fetish that you saw during the fight, and he looks into it eventually and just into the Umbra.
And so for Heart of Ice, whenever he uses Scent of the Past, the elite indicator that is the gifts being used as his eyes begin to let out a soft glow. And throughout this entire couple of days that you've met him, you've seen him more or less be stoic, almost uncaring about everything else around him. But this time, as the memory finishes, you see him for the first time afraid. And you see him take a step back and lean against the wall. I know what happened. We're not gonna find those pelts. Not anymore.
Why?
This Sam person, he's not a kinfolk. At least as far as I can tell. He's probably a type of human. He used a ritual here to more or less merge himself with not only the pelt from the lost ones, but the other two wolves that we saw on the wall. He somehow made himself into a Garou. Or at least a rendition of it. We need to go to Pure Heart. and we need to burn this place to the ground.
Agreed. I'll retrieve the Get's head.
It got blown up, remember?
Runs to fire, hears the word burn it to the ground. What goes through her mind?
If she was a dog, she'd be wagging her tail.
She's a wolf, she's still wagging her tail.
She'll let out a yip, and then she'll go back upstairs and start looking for good places to start a fire.
Oh
At
my
least,
god.
At least one of us has a positive spirit to this.
Runs to fire. Whatever ritual took place down there, it was seriously advanced. This is not something that you have so much knowledge in the occult, right? Like, you're hardly an expert. It's more like an advanced hobby knowledge at your stage.
Right.
But this is not something that even the most dedicated high school nerds would be able to perform. This is something that requires mastery over the magical arts.
A real practitioner.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to ask, because while Glasswalker is not a native tribe as a lupus, would she have heard stories about skinwalkers where she could recognize what that is?
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
Okay.
I mean,
Then
this is
she'll-
not stories, but oh my god, they're true. That would be the type
That
of
type of
situation.
thing, yeah. Yeah, she'll be, it's like skinwalkers, bad, fake guru.
Skinwalkers.
Storm Speaker, your science knowledge will tell you about what kind of components have been used here. The salts, the minerals, the oils, the resins, formalin-like preservatives. Clearly the result of someone who has been working with expertise and with a lot of dedication and just pure determination and focus.
And if he can tell that, we don't need to take the goo, because I was just more curious if it was like a petroleum-based goo or if it was like an animal fat or something.
Definitely.
But if there's enough science for us to know that it's an animal fat, then we don't need to take the goo. People can free up their hands.
Absolutely.
Did he work from notes? Is there any of like his ritual plans and stuff? That might be worth taking just in case it reveals anything else.
Let's see. That's a good question. No, I don't think so.
Buggy will change into Hamid form. Do I have to roll for that if we're not in? Can I just do it?
You always have to roll for that. No, it's 0 rage die, so it's automatic. So you
Okay.
just do it like
So she'll go to Hamid so she has opposable thumbs and call out, "Human papers. You want human papers before I burn house?" Because there's the maps upstairs.
There is the maps.
There's the what upstairs?
Yeah. Maps.
All the
and
maps
notes.
and everything upstairs.
Oh yeah, I'll go up and get those maps. You can start preparing the fire.
Yep.
And so it was that the Hellwalkers pack burned down the house that Sam built, and it felt pretty good, didn't it? I'm suspecting it felt pretty good to do this.
Just as we're walking outside before we light the blue touch paper at arm's length, I know it's been a while, but is there any sign of where Sam actually went, which direction he left in?
Nope. Not in the slightest.
Left
All you
via
know
magic.
is he used his strange necklace fetish, whatever that was. But you've seen glimpses of it, so that's not going to be enough to know what type of fetish that was. Heart of Ice, I can have you roll an intelligence occult check, but it's going to be like 6 successes to succeed. Yeah.
I don't think I have enough of that.
Yeah,
any
you
of
don't
that.
have enough of that, too. But, my friends, this is how the story Skins ends. You have tracked Samuel Haight as well as you possibly could. You cleansed the house that he once owned. Obviously released the Doberman Pinschers because they must be so messed up as dogs go from having him as an owner. And you have, at the very least, made sure that he's not still here, wherever he might be. And with that, let's just say that next week we will start the sequel. But you get some XP and some other stuff that we will deal with. Tune in next time, everyone, to see the beginning of the story called Weird Science, which I'm sure is perfectly harmless and just filled with happy moments for all Guru.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's going to be some real bad stuff down that mine.
Maybe.